students. I again discuss a topic in differential geometry. This is square inequality. So let any two vectors x, y belongs to an inner product is V. Then we can show that through square inequality that mod of inner product of x and y less than equal to norm of x into norm of y. So less than equal to we have to prove. So I have proved in another way. Let S is any finite orthonormal set, and it has n distinct elements e1, e2 up to en in the inner product space V. And since V is V not equal to null because x y belongs to V cannot be null, and we have also assumed that S is complete, means dimension of V less than equal to n. I mean to say, S is the maximum finite orthonormal set V can contain. So S is the maximal orthonormal set which has n distinct elements. It cannot have more than n elements of in V. So S is such a subset, finite subset, which have n distinct elements, and it is orthonormal set. So it is complete. I have already assumed. So in this way, AC is defined. Now we have two relations. Inner product of x and y is equal to summation of I is equal to 1 to n inner product of x and ei and inner product of ei y, which is equivalent to if x is any vector in V, then we have summation over I is equal to 1 to n mod of inner product of x and x ei whole square is equal to norm of x square. So these two relations are equivalent. I first prove, then we will go to square geometry to establish. So how we can establish these two relations? First, through inner product space theorems. First, we take y is equal to x minus summation over I is equal to 1 to n inner product x ei. Since S is orthonormal and also complete, so S is orthonormal. We have a very famous theorem in inner product space that y is orthogonal to each of the elements ei. I mean to say e1, e2 up to en. This is a very important theorem. You can find out in any textbook. And this is actually well established in inner product space. So since y is orthogonal, so y inner product of y ei equal to 0, which shows that y is equal to 0. Since S is complete by assumption, so y must be equal to 0. So if y is equal to 0, then we found out that we find out that x is equal to summation over I is equal to 1 to n x inner product of x ei. Now we'll go to find out what will be inner product of x and y. So now y can be also written in the same way as x summation over I is equal to 1 to n inner product of x ei, and in the same way y can be written summation over j is equal to 1 to n x ej. Now if we expand this, so this can take in this figure summation. If we come out from the summation, then it can be written x inner product of x e1 plus inner product of x e2 in dot x en inner product of x en, and then again inner product has, and we again expand this summation. Then we can write inner product y e1 plus inner product y e2 dot y en. So in this way, if we use inner product theorems, as we know, inner product theorems, that x inner product of x alpha y plus alpha beta j can be broken out, can be broken down in this way: alpha bar inner product of x y plus beta bar inner product of y z. So we'll find out in this way: x inner product of x e1 bar inner product y e1 bar and inner product of e1 e1 plus dot 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 last element will be x en x en bar of inner product in x en inner product y en bar and en inner product en. So here other elements will be cancelled because this is orthonormal set. All elements are related to S. So inner product of E1 and EI EJ is equal to 1 if I is equal to J. So I is equal to J means 1 1 2 2 3 3. These for these uh, terms will be valid, and others the term will exist and other will be equal to 0, because I is equal to I. If I not equal to 0 means e1 e2 e1 e3, the terms will be equal to 0. So for the same term e1 e1 e2 e2 e3 e3 en the terms will exist. Now we'll take in summation form again. So summation I is equal to 1 to n inner product of x ei and some inner product of y ei over bar, and this will be equal to 0 because inner product of e1 ei ei same will be norm of ei square is equal to 1. So all the e1 u1 inner product under inner product e2 e2 en all be equal to 1. So we'll have this term. Now last we will get summation over I is equal to 1 to n x ei. So since we know that under bar the two elements in the inner product, two vectors actually reverse. So this can be written ei y. So we have established first relation, uh, first equivalent relation. You can see that this is the relation, this is the relation we have established. Now we'll take from this relation we will establish this relation. Both are equivalent. So here if we take x is equal to y, then we will get in the above we will get no, inner product x x is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n x ei inner product x ei inner product ei x. So now here this will be norm of x square is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n mod of x ei whole square, because this can be again turned into the bar form x inner product of x ei under bar, and by multiplication we will get module mod of x inner product x ei whole square. So we have found that these two relations are equivalent. You can reverse also from this relation, you can get this relation also. So I have not discussed this relation, just I have discussed that these two relations are equivalent first. Now in second way, uh, since norm of x we have found out, the same form for norm of y whole square will be summation I equal to 1 to n mod of inner product y ei whole square. Same form for x and y both. Now we will go to prove the square inequality. Mod of inner product of x and y will be what? Mod of summation inner product of x ei, inner product of ei y. So this is the summation actually. If we uh, um, um, uh, if we wish to take the modulus on the terms, not on the summation, then this will be less than equal to, we know this, that less than equal to exist if we take out the summation out of the modulus form, then we will take less than equal to. So less than equal to summation I equal to 1 to n modulus of uh, inner product x here, and mod of a inner product x here, and mod of inner product y ei. Now again less than equal to we have to take, because we'll take another we'll take summation on both that two terms. So we have to take again less than equal to, and equal to also can exist, and less than also exist. So this can be further written summation I equal to 1 to n mod of inner product xci, summation I equal to 1 to n mm, mm, inner product mod of inner product yei. I have verified. You can verify also this is true or not. Less than in this two relation, less than equal to exist or not, you can verify. I have verified this is true. Now we'll take squares on the both side. So if we take squares mod of xy inner product xy whole square, so less than equal to, it will be mm, uh, summation over I equal to 1 to n inner product x ei whole square, and on another term the square will remain. This will be summation I equal 1 to n mod of y ei whole square. So here again I have found out that when I found out that here less than equal to less than equal to I have written. You can also verify. I have also again here verified that it is actually equal to summation I equal to 1 to n mod of module this square actually which actually acting on the overall the summation, it is actually less than equal to summation I equal to 1 to n mod of x inner product x ei whole square, and here also I equal to 1 to n summation uh, mod of inner product y ei whole square, means the square which is acting over all the summation, just acting on the mod of the inner product. So this is very important. You cannot just write down. Less than equal to actually works here. I have verified this result. You can also verify this. This two result you have to verify first, to ensure that this result is true or not. Then very easily this causality can be established, that then we will take the square from the both side. So mod of inner product xy I have taken, so less than equal to norm of x norm of y. This is the square inequality. So it is a very different way. In the textbooks you cannot find out this way, and just this is just fully established by me on the basic theorems on the inner product. So after verification, if you have any comment, then also comment me. And here also, that when equality exists, the square inequality, they are very good question, that when the equality exists, always less than exist or equal to any in any condition. You can, if you take x is equal to 0 or y is equal to 0, then both side will be equal to 0. So uh, if you take x is equal to 0, then what we will get, x y are two vectors, or y is equal to 0. So if any one is equal to 0, then we will find out what x, if we take alpha x plus beta y is equal to 0, then we will get that y is equal to 0 or x is equal to 0, means x and y have a relation. If we take x is equal to 0 or y is equal to 0, then we have a relation between x and y. So it is linearly dependent. So if these two vectors, any two vectors taken randomly from the set as, from the inner product space V are linearly dependent, then this equality sign holds. Then we will get a relation between x and y. So if you can say we had a, if we take if we put x is equal to beta y, just you can assume, then it can be very easily shown that the inner product space will be in this form. There will be inner product of beta y y. uh, this will be equal to mod of beta inner product y y. So actually it will be mod of beta norm of y square. And on the right hand side we will get the same. This will be beta mod of beta and norm of y square. So in the left hand side and right hand side both are equal. So equality holds in one condition, if x and y are linearly dependent. It means it have a relation. You can establish a relation between x and y. So this is the famous squares inequality. It is my own way to prove. So if you like, then like, and also visit my channel in YouTube by searching Niranjan Saha. Niranjan Saha. You can find out all these videos like this. If you like, then like that and subscribe this channel. Thanks.